Um, I am making this vlog as an update regarding the Oakland Athletics Las Vegas ballpark that, contrary to what others put out in terms of information, really is under construction, folks. And in fact, if you want to see some video and some images, aside from what I just posted,
I don't know, but I found these results on search.
that's Google, folks. I'm not talking to Google there. But at any rate, uh, here's photographs that are on Twitter. Have a look right here. See? That demonstrate in various forms where the halo, hey, can you give a thumbs up, by the way? Thanks. Where the ballpark is. And these are the preliminary steps, getting the materials lined up. The good news here that's really important to understand, as you can see by these materials, is that these materials right here were already paid for. And this is part of a set of thousands of items that were purchased, pre-purchased, and there's a plan for assembly that is being executed as we speak, and you're seeing one snapshot, literally one snapshot of the process, okay? That's what has to be understood here. This is a marathon, not a sprint. If there was ever, see here, if there was ever a project that applied to, it's the construction of a sports stadium. Sports stadiums generally take between 2 and 4 years to complete, and that's certainly the case here. But you can see again, you see all these materials lined up. This is part of a plan. This is already thought out, and these materials already purchased. This is part of the total construction costs of what is right now 1.75 billion. 380 million of that is covered by public money, and that's it. The rest private. The rest private. And so you can see how these machines are putting these various installs in place in the ground here. Contrary to the idea that was put out that, hey, they're not doing anything and they're not building it and they're not going to get it built. That's not true at all. Of course, you're familiar with what it's going to look like here, but let's just not discuss by any stretch of the imagination is the process itself. And look at this. This gigantic construction crane. Thank you for the thumbs up, by the way. Could use another. Hey, welcome to the show, everybody. Look at this gigantic crane. It is huge. This is the kind of crane you use to lift heavy material like this one. And again, all of this material you see on the ground here at the Oakland Athletics ballpark site, Oakland Athletics Las Vegas ballpark site, were pre-purchased. They were pre-purchased 2 years ago. And the crane operator and the contractors were selected in bids processes that took place over the past 2 years. All of this was going on as you heard people who were not familiar with how a construction process works opine about the construction process. But the simple fact of the matter is that for a building of this type, you predetermine where you're going to get the material from after the final construction drawings were finished, which lay out what material goes where, and then has a schedule of installation that is part of it. That's where you have big architects for the design, but HNTB for the hard part of doing the engineering determining where the material goes into to make the big design a reality and under what schedule and at what cost. Okay, that's why you see this partnership between Bjarke Ingels Group, big, and HNTB over here. Okay, and so which is very important to understand. Very important to understand. So don't believe this fake news hype that has been put out by folks trying desperately to create any fake news to make this look like it won't happen. Sports tourism today is bigger business than ever. And if you didn't see the Reno arena renderings for a exciting new $1 billion casino and arena resort at the Grand Sierra, then you don't have a true idea of what's going on in terms of development trends around the United States. The development trend points toward something called sports tourism, using sports of different types, football, baseball, basketball, to draw large numbers of people and have around them places to stay and eat, which generate, and therefore, the tax revenue that the city and the municipalities will collect. That's the idea. And so as a result, the
Call from unavailable.
the and as a result, the area itself is richer, but also something else that hasn't been talked about. It gets better marketing. Why? Because when you come to an event at that city, you are using social media to communicate where you are, which always has to do with that city. In this instance, it's Las Vegas. And so Las Vegas sees this as sports tourism as the key to its economic future at a time when you and I can go gambling anywhere in the United States. A major casino, get this, is only 1 hour drive at the most from any major city in America. That's unprecedented, folks. And then, of course, there's the impact of the internet. The late Sheldon Adelson, the founder and CEO, founder and president of Las Vegas Sands, was geniusly right. He wanted the Raiders in Las Vegas because he saw right on the wall the impact of the internet on gambling and believed, in fact, he believed this before he went after the Raiders, that entertainment, having something else to do other than gamble, was going to be the element that helped gambling grow in Las Vegas, and then sports. A number of people say, well, you know what, this can't work because Las Vegas is a small market. Every time I hear someone say that, that's a key to me that they don't understand urban development. Because as long as you have 40 million people coming in to gamble, eat, drink, and be merry, as has been the case in Las Vegas for so many years, you don't have to have or worry about having a large base population. But here's the catch, folks. Because people come into Las Vegas and do all of these things, what happens is what's happening in Las Vegas now. It eventually builds up to a point where it becomes a mature urban area that people want to live in and therefore demand to have the services that other cities have, like, great infrastructure to prevent flooding, clean water, good schools, effective security with police, effective public works to get water to and fro. All of this makes up a city. But you don't need to have a sunk traditional manufacturing base to succeed today. Tourism can effectively replace it for a time. Now you would say, what do you mean, Zinni? And what I mean by that is this. All of these cities that are adding sports tourism components, like Reno, are trying to pick away at what Las Vegas enjoys. And guess who's behind the 8 ball in terms of not catching up to the trend? Oakland. Because as all of these cities are adding these facilities, Oakland has no plans to add any after having lost the Warriors, the Raiders, and the A's. And that is an absolute crime. Why is it a crime? Because it is the job of the mayor of Oakland to improve economic development. That is in the city charter. All right. So a short piece on this, folks. Please, I look forward to your questions. I'm going to do another tomorrow, but I wanted to get this in under the radar because it is 12:01. I just made it, I think. Please subscribe to Zenny62 on YouTube and bookmark CESLasVegasNews.com. Thanks.